Raleigh police officer is accused of having sex on the job instead of investigating a crash. 28-year-old Tremail Cogdale was fired from the police department today. That's because he's facing charges for failing to investigate a DWI crash in exchange for sexual acts. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live at the police department tonight. Sean, that officer was fired today right after the charges were filed.
Yeah, Ashley, it is working tremendously fast. RPD taking this very seriously. Just 3 weeks from that alleged incident, and that officer no longer has a job. Chief Rico Boyce making it loud and clear, no one is above the law, even if you have a badge. Court records show it was 3 weeks ago when Officer Tremail Cogdale arrived at an early morning crash.
I'm disturbed about this.
Friday afternoon, Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce was direct about this incident.
After completing a call for service, Mr. Cogdale drove the victim back to his personal residence in his City of Raleigh police vehicle, and a sexual encounter occurred while Mr. Cogdale was on duty.
Cogdale joined RPD in June of 2022. Boyce says he was fired today after charges were filed for failing to conduct and charge a DWI investigation in exchange for sexual acts.
What has happened is not only troubling, it is disgraceful.
Boyce says it's not uncommon for officers to provide transportation for crash victims to a safe space, but never would he expect this from his officers.
As the chief, it's not easy for me to stand up here and say that I arrested one of my officers. But when I was selected as chief, I promised this community that I was going to be transparent and I was going to hold people accountable no matter who they are. I hope today reflects that I'm keeping my word.
Boyce says the woman in this case stepped forward to notify investigators. Her lawyer released a statement saying, in part, there's nothing scarier than a sexual predator with a badge. He clearly would have done this again if not for the courageousness of our client, who's a strong, brave young woman. We would not be surprised if he has committed this brazen misconduct in the past. WRAL found Cogdale is involved in nearly 60 other police cases during his 3 years on the department.
Can we trust the integrity of the other cases he was involved in?
Everything right now involving that officer is under review now with the Wake County District Attorney's Office.
So I reached out to the District Attorney Lauren Freeman, and she tells me they are reviewing all of these cases to see if they can move forward with them or not. She did tell me if there were other officers involved in those cases, they likely would be able to move forward since they would have another reputable officer to move that case forward. Right now, Cogdale is being held in a Wake County jail on a $30,000 bond, and he'll be back in court on Monday. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 9. He that walketh uprightly worketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. Call Holayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekat Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. And nobody in this captivity, in this society, in Babylon the Great, aka America, walks and conducts themselves uprightly. Everybody has a perverse, corrupted, abominable, diabolical spirit upon them, man. And true judgment, true discernment, it's non-existent. It's not slacking, it doesn't exist. Okay, there's no such thing as fair discernment, fair judgment, equality, etc. No consideration, man. Okay, and you know, Jake is wicked just as well as Esau is wicked, but you know, when Edomites do shit like this, it's not broadcasted on television. It's not pedestalized and advertised to the whole society of Babylon the Great. You know, when an Edomite does something like this, is swept under the rug. But they again, as we've been telling you time and time again, they do this to cause distractions, to also feed their false narrative that you Israelites are the main issue, the main problem. And Jake is off. Jake does deserve judgment. Jake is going to get his just due. But your rap sheet, you Edomites' rap sheet, is above and beyond, man. You've got everybody beat. Okay? Hundreds of years of dirt that you've done and that you continue to elevate in. Okay? And where do you think Jake got the concept of doing these things that he does? From his idol. You damn red silverback cave gorillas, man. And again, man, our people cleave on to what they've been taught in this society, man. And also to Salaki. I'm not making no excuses for no stupid, simple ass nigga, man. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just, being as balanced as I can about the whole situation, man. Okay, because in actual reality, it's the dude's not doing his job. For him getting fired was correct for him to get fired, but with this captain, whatever chief, whatever he is, would he have fired the Edomite if he did this? And furthermore, what that woman did, that's prostitution. And whatever, if she was a so-called black woman, whether she was maybe white, whatever the case may be, she snitched on his ass. Okay, so hey, man, how about Shimmy Shai is manifesting, man? So the dude basically told this broad, it's either jail or you're going to give up some box. You're either going to go, have to face court dates and everything else, or I can make this go away if you give me some pussy. That's basically what was stated, man. And so you put this drunk woman, after having a car accident, in your vehicle, and then on top of that, take her to your crib, your residence, to commit the act, man. But again, where did Jake get this from? Because, hey, look, man, all these people, these officers, these politicians, these people in the judicial system, they all have the same mentality. They're all about the same thing, man. Because again, they got this shit from Esau because Jake believes he can do what Esau does, man. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, okay, the judge, okay, the ones that's, behind that's, your honor, this and that, just hitting that gavel, that's giving the order, okay, the magistrator, okay, the Congress, the Senates, the president, the three branches of government, which I hope you know them. I'm not going to, I'll say two. Executive and judicial. What's the third? Okay? All these government officials, these politicians, etc., these law enforcement, okay? Continuing on. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of the man of the ruler of the city is, again, and what manner of the man, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So this is not nothing new. Okay, the so-called super-clean white man, whether it be a police officer, a sheriff, a CEO, somebody in the Senate, okay, somebody in Congress, etc. They all do shit like this, man. Okay, why do you think the Epstein list has not been unsealed and revealed to society, man? Because that's going to expose a lot about these politicians, about these people in high-ranking positions, man, and in power. But yet, when Jake does something like this, it's broadcast and advertised on all platforms, on all news footage to be shown. Again, for a distraction, to take you off of what's really going on, because a lot of stuff is going on behind the scenes. A lot of executive orders and laws, and amongst other things, are being signed. Okay? But again, you know, for a stupid, simple nigga, I mean, what's like, come on, man, you don't get, goodness gracious, man, like, come on, man, you, man, goddamn, man, it's prostitution, man, but still, man, a nigga like this, a nigga doing stuff like this shit should not have no job with no type of authority, man, none. And I'm pretty sure this woman, I'm pretty sure he did not have to threaten to, like, he was going to execute her or take her life. He probably, you know, made it seem like that she was in big trouble. She would never, see the light of day. She would go to jail. She would probably have probation, all these things. He probably, supplanted her, man, just to get some box, man, just to get some coochie. And also, too, Salaki, also, too, it could have been the other way around, too. Maybe he could have wanted it. Maybe she might have offered it to get off. Okay, because again, we got to look at both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the picture, man. You know, Jake, regardless, Jake is off. Because again, Jake loves the philosophies, the customs, the traits of this world. And you niggas get a little bit of power and you abuse your authority, man, instead of actually doing your job. Okay? Because again, this is shit that Edomites was doing, in hardcore bondage. You know, you've seen Edomites as cops do shit like this to women. You know, literally search women, rub their breasts, and do all types of shit and everything else. You know, probably take them down to the station. You know, GRAPE. Okay, so this is not nothing new, man. But again, Jake has it in his mind that, the devil does it. He gets away with it. So how come I can't do it and get away with it? Okay, and again, Jake may have, brought it up front and said, if you do this, I'll you won't get in trouble, this and that. Or the broad may have, well, if I give you some, will you make this go away? But regardless of who established the first move and who brought it up, the woman still snitched on his ass, got him fired, and now he's going to court. Sucks to be you, buddy. And as I stated earlier in the lesson, let's grab this to back up what I stated. Because there's no correct, righteous discernment or judgment. Again, the law, it doesn't exist. Everybody's doing everything off their own mental concept, which is perverse, which is corrupted, which is not righteous. Okay, this is Habakkuk chapter 1, and I'm going to read verse 4. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. So there was no correct judgment in conducting this matter correctly in this DWI. Okay, obviously, whoever was drunk and caused the accident was supposed to be apprehended, cuffed, and taken down to the detention center and booked. And obviously, insurance information was supposed to be gathered, etc. On both ends, and the police is supposed to make a report about this, and also for the person that was the victim to be able to establish the evidence for their insurance and to go about things correctly, whether they wanted to sue that person or whatever it may be. But no, the officer was just worried about busting a nut. The officer was just worried about, if the box was good or not. Habakkuk 1 verse 4. Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked, because this is a wicked nigga, man. This is a wicked nigga. Okay? Period, man. And men that really don't get, and I'll say this as a man, but men that don't get no coochie do stuff like this, man. Men that's just, not in the radar of women, man. You know, to put themselves in a certain position to be able to have a privilege, an advantage, or what's the word I'm looking for here? Slakia, or a chance to be able to do something like this, man. Okay? For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So the judgment was completely in error, man. Okay, the matter was not handled. And look at this, man. You're stupid, man. You just look fucking stupid, man. Just completely dumb, man. Okay? Point blank period, man. So they handled the matter correctly. It wasn't even in this dude's radar, man. And again, you know, he may be a Jake, he may not be a Jake. He might be a chocolate covered Edomite. You know, or he just might be a wicked, stupid ass Negro, man. Either or. It's up in the air, man. Okay, the wheats and the tares, man. Okay, but again, a lot of our people, they envy the so-called white privilege and the things that the devil was able to do and get away with, man. And that's why they cleave and practice and rehearse the acts of the wicked, man. And that's why you Israelites get judged quickly and swiftly by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's grab this and close out, because the point is made, man. I ain't gonna go too long and too deep on this, man. But you get what you deserve, man. Okay? You get what you deserve, and you know, again, I wasn't there, y'all wasn't there. So we don't know the whole truth behind the story. But I would say 50-50, it might have been him, and definitely 50%, it might have been the woman too, man. Just, you know, offer some box to get up out of it. And because, you know, women also too, let me put this out there. She'll do that. A woman will do something like this. They're not saying this is how it happened, but you know, again, you got to think about the whole picture. You got to think outside the box too. Okay, and you know, just for you know, what is? Damn, I can't think of it, but I'm just gonna say it. Just, you know, she might have, you know, if she did, she might have offered it and said this, and then, you know, basically reneged to make it seem like she was being pressured. She was being she was being pressured. She feared for her life, etc. And she just did it. But yet, after she did it, you know, she went and filed and got a lawyer. You made a false claim, lied, just to you know, obviously probably sue the city, get him locked up, and sue his ass too. And that's not so far fetched, but you know, hey, man. But again, man, you niggas, you Israelites, you attempt to delight in the things that's pleasurable to this damn devil. You want to partake in his traits. Okay? This is Sirach chapter 9, verse 12. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in. And again, you've seen movies, you've heard stories of police officers doing stuff like this. The so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native and Seminole Indian women, man. It's part of our history, man. You know, the slave patrol, okay, the plantation owners, the taskmaster, etc., man. This is not something that's strange. It's something that's regular, okay? Sirach 9 verse 12. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in. Okay, because our people delight in the things that the wicked do. You know, why do you think Yahweh Shai said, ye are of your father the devil? Okay, because you cleave and do what these devils do. You want to be just like them, man. Okay, so you mimic and cleave onto their customs. But remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave. Okay, and you know, obviously this Jake got judged, and you know, he's going through the stages of, you know, his recompense, and you know, which he deserves, man. Okay, because you're put up in a position, because what is it? I think it's to protect and serve, or to serve and protect. One of them ways. I can't remember all the time, but you were put in a position to basically protect. It's one of the main things is to protect the citizens, man. Not to come up on the scene of a DWI accident to ravish some pussy, man. Not to give somebody an ultimatum. It's either jail or that box. That's just wicked, man. And you get what you deserve, man. Point blank, period, man. But also, too, hey, man, you Edomite, you ain't blameless, man. Because y'all been doing this for decades upon decades, years upon years, man. Okay? It just shows you, man. Nobody's exempt, man. But, I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true sincere Aki and Akwaf. Can't be using your authority, Jake, to get no daggone box, man. Okay? So, Lord willing, I hope and I pray this is edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true sincere Aki and Akwaf. So, with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.